as things get noisier, as markets get more saturated, as there's more competitions, or you need more competition, or you need to convince more buyers, how do you leave a lasting impression? On the marketing side, it's how do you break through and make an impression? Like for the sales side, I think it's and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, leaving a lasting impression. Vanessa, let's start with you on this one. What new formats or innovations are you seeing just in your line of work of like that are helping you leave those impressions? Like what are you seeing out there?
Yeah, for me, I love incorporating interactive experiences. And I mean, I think it just goes back to this shift in terms of, what's really going to stand out. Anytime you have interactive elements, maybe versus a flat PDF, anytime you have video, I think those are the big pieces that I really see the buyers and prospective buyers latching on to because it's easy to consume. It paints a really clear picture and visual for them. And the other piece with the interactive element, it gives them that opportunity to choose their own adventure, which I think is the big piece. Today you have the buyers that are already educated and have so much information at their fingertips. So you want to be able to meet them where they are in that journey. And I think anytime you incorporate interactive elements, really nice video clips that are engaging, to me, I see those as really big key standout pieces that we like to leverage.
Love that. Love that. Back to the creative side. Matt, same question. What new formats, innovations, working for an insurance company like Lockton, like status quo, there's a lot of momentum that I think you're jumping into. How do you as a creative come in there and try to shake things up and try to, help the company get to the next iteration of what their content looks like, whether it's in sales or marketing?
Yeah, so insurance is like one of the oldest businesses out there. It's been around for ages and ages, right? And so as such, there's a lot of legacy components to it, even in recent years, where your sales teams will go to a sales presentation and then drop the spiral bound document that's all printed out, and like 15 of those on the table on a conference table. It's like this thud. And and there's like there's still value in that, I think, occasionally, but we try to think of, like, to what you're saying, Alan, leaving a memorable experience. And for us, we like, it's about standing out because the competition's steep, I think, for all of us. And so we're trying to think of like what is going to leave that most memorable impression. We've really begun to lean into the digital format and how that's shared. That's largely why our team has adopted Ceros as a tool, because it allows us to do that and creates like this lightweight experience that can also be very immersive. And that allows us to tell maybe a more effective story. In insurance, like, you deal with a lot of data, a lot of analytic information, and like a lot of our presentations, it's just required. Like, you have tables and charts and things like that. So we try to think of ways to display that is in a concise way that maybe, and that's where digital comes in. Like, if you can click into that or kind of like go in through layers, that tends to be more
Mm.
helpful than just presenting them with like wall to wall of content in front of you. And that's not a good way to tell a story either. We say we're visual communicators, where it's not just layout and design, it's telling a story in a visual way and using some really complex information to do that. And so we always feel like whenever we can, and it comes off as like this like really digestible format, like, say, like, I get what you're saying, then we feel like we've done our job.
Absolutely. I think the telling the big story in smaller chunks that's easier to digest and help people almost like breadcrumb along the journey, I think is
Yeah.
is super important. Meredith, what's your take here?
Yeah, very similar to what Matt was just describing and hitting on a lot of the points too that Vanessa mentioned. We've really been focusing on harnessing technology in new and different ways. Ceros is for sure a key part of that, but really taking a broader multimedia approach. We found a lot of success in leveraging video and thinking about interactivity in different ways, things that, to Matt's point, that are very light and very easy, some things that are much more immersive and kind of allows you to dive deep into information. Also thinking about in those instances where we still need to send a PDF or send a more lengthy document, how can we divide things up so that it feels more manageable? And also, how can we link out to things that already exist in a digital environment? The bonus with that too is by leveraging those digital resources, it also gives us more insights and those analytics that we can report out on, which, I mean, honestly, is always a win.